Okay, this is going to be my first video for the new Shade Tree Gardener blog. I call it the Shade Tree Garden because of the trees that overhang property, and which of course gives me limited sunlight each day. Now I'll start over here. You see I have 10 earth boxes. Right here I have some green beans growing. They seem to be doing well. This is a fairly sunny spot, and I move it around at different points of the day so that it does get more sun. These seem to be doing better. Last year was a horrible year for green beans for me, and I heard from a few others as well. They have a few spots on them, but what I do is pull off the leaves with the spots, and hopefully that puts the energy into the new leaves coming up. I also use an organic insecticide soap, so in case these are things like aphids, but I really don't know what the little spots are, and I don't see ants, which I think usually accompanies an aphid attack because the ants are eating aphids. So the empty boxes are awaiting my transplants of hot peppers, and I have a lot of different hot peppers. This is jalapeno, and that's cayenne, and these are also jalapeno. And this is a sweet banana right here, and this is an early, I'm not sure why they call it early because it's already summer. It's an early sweet green pepper. These two are bell peppers. There's some holes on this leaf and here. There's some as well. Okay. So anyway, I have several transplants, and I'll show you those in a minute, and that's where these are going. This is my corn. This is my 4th year doing corn, believe it or not. Well, at least I say it, believe it or not, to me. You can see how the sun tracks. So the larger ears are bending towards that direction where the sun goes the longest during the day, and these are of course smaller back here. I think what I'm going to do is run some string across these slats to help keep them in the upright position. Last year they were very, very tall and spindly, and I actually had to stake them to keep them from falling over and out of the ground because they would have done that. Typically I get about 2 meals worth of corn out of all this activity, so it does feed my family, at least for 2 meals. The benefit, though, I mean, because basically it's, a few pennies worth of seeds, some fertilizer and some water and time, but I also get a lot of compost material because all of that goes into my compost bin, which is over there. So, okay, so let's go back over to this side. And I have a variety of things in here. The flowers have been in here since early spring. These are tomatoes that I have grown from seed, and they were started in my hot box, and then I moved them over here, and they seem to be taking on very well. These are cucumbers, which I also grew from seed. I tried transplanting them from the hot box over, but I found that just planting right in the soil seems to work very well with them. I have a few herbs here. Let's see, we've got rosemary. This is rosemary, and this is thyme. Okay, again, more cucumbers. Okay, over here are tomatoes that I have grown from seed as well. Okay, some flowers. Again, more cucumbers along the, we have 4 of the little trellis things in these boxes. Okay. I have a row of beans, green beans, going along here. Right now I have some simple stakes kind of helping to guide them. At some point in time I'll have to put in several stakes and maybe some strings to help keep everything moving upright and so forth. This is the famous hot box. Started out as a cold frame. but it's lined with black plastic, and the dirt is dark. And so one of the things I found is that it does, if you keep the lid closed during the colder times, it does keep a fairly constant temperature. And when you come out, even if it's been a cold night, when you come out in the morning, it's still pretty warm. So, you know, and especially these are all hot peppers. All of these are hot peppers. There's 20 different varieties, and I label them P1, P2, P3, and so forth. Some of them have taken forever to come up, and others are moving real quick, and I'm going to transplant these probably this weekend, some of the larger ones, to move them out. But as you can see, this seems to work. Next year, this is organic potting mix. I think next year I'm going to try to make my own sterile starting soil using, I guess, peat moss and I don't know what it's called, vermiculite and you know, a variety of things. I read some stuff on hot peppers, and that's one way to keep them from getting crud. So here you can see some bad spots on this leaf. So I need to try to work on that. 2 little watering cans here. These are cucumbers that were transplanted from the hot box over to here. So we'll see how they go. Cucumbers are actually one of the few things in the garden that I actually eat. I don't eat tomatoes, I don't eat peppers. So a lot of what I'm growing I don't personally eat, but a lot of people in my family, and of course a lot of my friends and colleagues do. So, again, I have some more beans over here. Everything's looking a little droopy because it was very hot today, and then when I came home I did a good soak. So, I have some more cucumbers from seed back here. They got some crud on them too, so I might need to look at those. Okay, now these two are 2 different varieties of tomatoes, and they're actually coming up fairly well. These are Bonnie that I bought and put them in my garden, Bonnie plants. They are both, however, heirlooms. So, one of the things that I do, and you can see a little bit of the lime that's left over, but when I planted these, I put some fast-acting lime down in the bottom of the hole, then put some dirt on top of that, and that's to help keep the circular crud that you get on the bottom of tomato plants when they're developing. Another thing that I read you can do instead of putting lime is you can take a couple of eggshells and actually crush them and put them in the bottom, and then that works just as well. Okay, this is also a Bonnie tomato plant here. I don't see any tomatoes on it yet, but there are some flowers, so we're moving along. These are a couple of tomatoes that I grew from seed, and they're moving along as well. These are also Bonnie. This is kind of an interesting looking tomato plant. I've never seen anything like that. But it's got some tomatoes there, so hopefully they'll turn color here soon and somebody will be able to eat them. This bed is very rich. It has several layers of soil and compost. In fact, this entire hill is compost. So, okay. Now, this is my little herb garden. Oh, there's the little mama cat that we take care of. So we have some lemon basil here on the end, stevia, and I've actually already been harvesting some of the stevia. I like to take the leaves and without even drying them, you can actually put them right into different drinks to help sweeten them. I have various types of basil, and that's lavender. So I'm not sure what to do with that yet. There's some dill and tarragon and oregano. Parsley, we've been harvesting some of that, more parsley. Sweet basil, we've been harvesting that. Spicy basil. And this is cilantro, which kind of stinks. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting bed. I'd like to see what comes of it. See if I can keep it going. I guess the trick is to harvest slowly over time, and then put them into different meals and and salads and things like that. So we'll see how it's going. So that's my big plan for the spring. Will be tomatoes, beans, which of course I eat, cucumbers, which I eat, lots of hot peppers, and corn, which I do eat as well. So anyway, we'll see how it progresses. This is pretty much what I'm going to grow for the summer. So, well, so me and the little mommy cat are about to sign off, and this concludes my first video for the Shade Tree Gardener.